It's kind of hard to believe right now that Phase 4 was supposed to begin with Black Widow last year. A movie that is a prequel that people were like, finally you're giving us that movie. But no, the pandemic happened, and so this show, the first Marvel Cinematic Universe live action show, is the beginning of Phase 4. Marvel, welcome back. WandaVision, which stars Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, and is about blends the style of classic sitcoms with the MCU, in which Wanda Maximoff and Vision, two superpowered beings living their ideal suburban lives, begin to suspect that everything is not as it seems. Before getting started this review, spoiler alert! That is your warning. I gave you a fair warning if you've not seen WandaVision. I'm spoiling the show, and especially talking about the finale, which premiered today on Disney+. So let's get into it, guys. The past 9 weeks, I have been watching WandaVision. I just haven't been reviewing each episode weekly because I just rather talk about the whole season or series as a whole. And with this, I think it's just the one season because it was the series finale. So we got one season to talk about, and there's a lot of good in this show. A lot of people have loved this show. I have really enjoyed it. I have some issues, especially after this finale. I do have more issues that finally came into closure for me. But overall, I can say this. This is a great, different, original take on a superhero brand that people complain nowadays saying, oh, it's those superhero movies. At least Marvel is trying something new, and that is the best thing about to say with this show. Starting off with our pauses, we have to talk about the performances. Elizabeth Olsen should be nominated for an Emmy. I have said that from episode 1 to where it was 1950s, 60s sitcom, all the way up to this finale. Wanda Maximoff just might be the most interesting Marvel Cinematic Universe character as we speak right now. But the best thing about being a show, you have episodes and hours on hours upon development of this character, and Wanda Maximoff has always been an interesting character. She potentially could have defeated Thanos by herself. I mean, if we all saw Endgame, she almost did. So, for this show to give her even more development is amazing, and the show 100% made that happen. She is truly one of the best characters in the Marvel Universe, and my god, seeing Paul Bettany come back as Vision was awesome. He is so good in this role, and it makes me happy that we actually might be able to see him more in the future. We'll get to that more. But he is great as Vision, more of a great comedic tone to his character in the first few episodes, which I loved seeing. I mean, Vision was always an interesting character in the movies, so like I said, for the show, you get more development, and their relationship, seeing their relationship throughout this entire show, and what the struggle goes through, what you're learning about Wanda, and what this world is, and why are we in this sitcom universe, what is going on? Each episode is changing eras. What is going on here? Then by episode 4, we finally learned that this new government called SWORD is coming into this place saying, hey Wanda, you have taken over this town, the town's disappearing, we cannot enter. What are you doing? What is going on here? And that is where in the beginning of the show, I can't lie, I was really just like waiting each week like, what is going on here? Like, it truly was just sitting there every week saying, what is going on? So after watching the finale, I did watch the entire season in its format, and I can say this, it helps. Like, it 1000% helps, because those first few episodes, I was sitting there like, what does this have to do with anything? Now, I will have to admit, those first 3-4 episodes, there are things that are definitely like, did you really need that, or did you really need to put this into multiple episodes? Especially those first 2 episodes, which I love just how different and weird they are. Black and white sitcom and how they're framed in the aspect ratio. It's great, it's different, it's fresh. I love that kind of stuff. But, I mean, it going for basically like a talent show scenes and more comedic humor and all that kind of stuff, and it helps the character and stuff. But looking back on it, you're like, did we really need an entire episode just for that when you couldn't just mush it together? So again, going back and rewatching it, those first few episodes, it takes some time to get really into this universe. But by episode 5, from all the way up to the finale, it's got its story, it's got its structure, it's going in and out of the world. It's really just intense, interesting, a little bit confusing, but it's confusing in an intriguing way, and it gets really good by the end of this show. Now let's just jump right into this finale because it's fresh in our minds, and I will say this, if you guys really think about season finales, or more like series finales to shows, they're always disappointments, and what really sucks for this show is we all got hyped because we all expected something is coming in this finale. We all had our predictions about certain characters might show up. Will certain Fantastic Four show up? X-Men show up? Because we just had Evan Peters show up as Quicksilver, which you're like, oh, they're bringing in the X-Men? Oh my god, it's setting up something big for this finale. So I think this finale is being talked about very disappointedly because people just theorized bigger things and it didn't come true. Now, for the finale itself, just the clear episode finale itself, I have to say it was satisfying for this story. Like, for this story, the WandaVision episode 1 to this episode, what we've gone through, seeing Wanda Maximoff, seeing Vision, all these characters come together in this finale, it completed this story, it did its job in the storyline, all that kind of stuff, which is satisfying, but there's many questions that leave you like, what is next? So basically, we're just gonna have to wait for the movies now. I liked a lot about this finale, a lot. I really liked the scenes with Wanda and Vision saying goodbye to each other, even though Vision did put his like memories and his like feelings into the white fully Vision. So, and that Vision left. So I'm guessing Vision is alive? Paul Bettany will be back as Vision at least one day because they cannot just let this white Vision go everywhere at once. Like, we need to figure out where that goes. Like that's something that finally I'm like, that's gotta be in a movie or the next show or something. That has to come back into some type of play because Vision is potentially alive. Even though my theory was, before the finale even started, I swore to you my prediction was that robot is going to be Ultron. I thought Ultron was going to be in it. I thought he was coming back, and that was my big prediction. I didn't predict any X-Men or Professor X or Fantastic Four. I didn't predict any of that. I was like, nah, we might get Doctor Strange, but besides that, I think we might see, like, Ultron, because I thought it'd be really dope. Nope, it's just basically a white evil Vision that they fight for about 10 minutes or so. It's a really cool fight scene, but we've seen stuff like that before, and then he puts his stuff in that Vision body and he just leaves. So that Vision needs to come back somehow. Now, one character I need to talk about that I've liked this entire season is Monica Rambeau, the daughter of the girl from Captain Marvel, grown up, and now I'm guessing she has powers of some sorts. She was a badass. She probably, besides Wanda, was probably my most interested in character that I really dug. I love seeing her development when we first kind of meet her, where she's just kind of a sitcom character, and it turns out, hey, she was part of the whole, like, gone people. She was gone. She came back, and now everyone's freaking out, and then she comes back to S.W.O.R.D., and she's an agent. She goes back into the universe, and she's a badass with these new powers. And potentially in this end credit scene, we see that she is going to possibly go up into space, and I would think she's going to show up in Captain Marvel 2. Like, that's just my prediction. I would think either, like, Guardians 3, maybe Thor Love and Thunder, but I don't think so. But my landing spot for her has to be Captain Marvel 2. She's got to meet up with Captain Marvel. Like, we have to see that reunite. Like, we have to see them come together. She has to be in Captain Marvel 2. I'll be a little disappointed if she doesn't even get mentioned in Captain Marvel 2. I just want to see her with Captain Marvel again. Catherine Hahn's performance as Agatha was solid. She was good in this role. She did her part. But she is one of my biggest issues with this show. Like, honestly. Her villain kind of sucked. I mean, honestly. I'm not going to compare her like the Dark Elves from Thor and Dark World. Like, no. Not that bad. But she is just your cliche villain of, I want your powers, Wanda. I want your powers. I'm a witch too, and you have these powers, and I want them. Brar. So, I mean, I just think she's going to be very forgettable. I mean, Catherine Hahn, I like her a lot. She's been great in many comedies. Step Brothers, I love her in that movie. But for this role, she did her part. She did the villain part, but I'm not going to remember her. She was just a cliche villain. I mean, she was nothing very intriguing by the end of it. Watching it for the whole season, I was like, oh well, kind of basically a shitty villain. Now, we also got to talk about one thing that really ticked me off. Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Now, when he showed up, and it was episode 6 or 5 or something like that, I was like, oh my god, they're doing it. They're bringing in the X-Men universe in like a recasting way. I'm in for it. Then we find out Agatha is the one that basically brought him in there with a recasting. Except, I didn't think they were really doing a recasting. Turns out Evan Peters is an actor. A guy with last name Boner. Yeah, they made a joke by that too. And they pulled an Iron Man 3. They pulled a Mandarin. Like, they really did that. Again. And for me, the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 halfway ruins that movie. So for this show to do it again pissed me off. I was like, really? We're really doing that again, Marvel? Did you not listen to the fans for once? I mean, they usually do really good, not do fan service stuff like that. But they were like, oh, we should do that again because it worked for us for the first time, so we'll do it again. I was disappointed as hell. I was like, oh my god, y'all really did that. I was pissed off, and that really, it struck me hard. I was like, Marvel, what are you doing? Now, I do like it when Wanda and her fight each other in the stormy red sky in this finale. And I want all my fans out there, did this scene not remind you of the famous 2003 Hulk? Was I the only one out there that thought about this when she was like, you want my powers? Take it. Take them all. And then the storm and everything, it totally reminded me of Hulk, where his father, he's like, take them all. And he's in that bubble. Like, was I the only one? I thought Hulk, but I might be that weird guy. But anyways, she gives the powers, Agatha loses her powers, and then basically Wanda becomes the ultimate villain, I guess. She becomes the Scarlet Witch. Her suit looks badass, and she's basically making this world disappear because she is low-key the villain. She took these people in their own lives and made them her slaves. She basically tortured them. They couldn't see their families. They were stuck in this sitcom world because Wanda wanted Vision. She wanted a family. She wanted to be happy. She created this world from her old past, from her family watching these sitcoms. Malcolm in the Middle, the Dick Van Dyke Show, like all this stuff. And it was really intriguing stuff. But that's what the best thing about the show was. Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, that character from the beginning of the series, leading up to this finale, being her in that suit and the red eyes. That is the development we all love to see, and that is the best thing this show did. Being so different, being so original and fresh for superhero movies and future movies possibilities. She is a character developed the most by anyone, and you love her, but you gotta sit there and think, is Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, is she a villain now? Now, wrapping up the season, Wanda does leave. Everyone is free. She defeats the bad guy. The Visions she loved, her kids, they're gone. I loved all that stuff. It was really emotional. It was touching. I loved all that stuff. And she leaves. In the end credit scene, we see that basically she is still Scarlet Witch. She has those powers in her. Something is evil in her, and she hears her kids. And I think this is where she was said in one scene, I'm pretty sure, she said, I'm gonna go figure this out. Which leads to it has to lead to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Like, it has to go straight into that movie. I mean, she's already in the movie. We know that. So it all makes sense that she's gonna learn from Doctor Strange, and she'll probably go into this multiverse with him and screw some shit up. But that also makes you think, how is this gonna connect to Spider-Man Away From Home? Because that movie comes out first in December, and then we get Doctor Strange. Now, at this moment, it could possibly delay, which I wouldn't be shocked with, but it can happen. But at this moment, Away From Home comes first, and then Multiverse in the Madness. So things are going to get really crazy real quick with time and development of Doctor Strange and Wanda, which I'm really excited to see. I didn't expect me to really get this hyped for the next Doctor Strange movie. But after this show and what they're setting up and the questions we have, Vision, Wanda, the multiverse, I mean, Doctor Strange has the potential to be an awesome movie, especially got Sam Raimi. Hell yes! But overall, for what this show was, this series, I guess we can say, since there's not gonna be season 2, I would think so, I really had fun with it. Like I said, this show was different. I mean, lots of people say superheroes are getting old or whatever. I disagree, but this is why I would disagree the most of. Marvel tried something really different, and I was in for it. And I liked a lot in this show. The performances are the best. Wanda is the reason we love the show. Vision, we love seeing him a lot in the show. I don't know what they're going to do with him next. I hope they use him a lot. But either way, it definitely set up a lot of questions. It didn't solve some, but either way, that's what Marvel usually does. I had fun with the show. I think it's a solid show, a great show to begin with the Marvel Universe. I mean, that's the best part, honestly. There's more to come in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with shows, and I think it's working so far. My biggest issues is Quicksilver can go fuck himself with this stupid twist, and I really just... I mean, again, Catherine Hahn is great, but it's a shitty villain in my opinion. She's a shitty villain. I think the main villain is Wanda, and there's more to be explored with that. I'm gonna give WandaVision a B. So what did you think of WandaVision? Leave a comment down below. Theorize. Be nice. Don't disagree with everyone. Everyone has their own opinion. Again, I enjoyed this show very much. I didn't think it was the best show ever, though. That's just my opinion. I just didn't think it was the best. But I had a great time with it. Wanda Maximoff is a badass, and I love her character a lot more now. I'm excited to see Phase 4. I'm excited to see what's next, and I hope you guys are. And I hope you guys enjoyed this very long video, but it was a fun one. Anyway, guys, I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.